It turns out that death is not the end of a mortal body, and the most terrible thing can happen when you are already dead. For Anna Fritz, it rests in peace. The sky of sunny Spain was cloudy. The country mourns the beautiful woman of its generation, the soon-to-die famous actress Anna Fritz, whose looks and talent have been admired by fans around the world. In anticipation of an autopsy to reveal cause of death, her body is taken to the local morgue, and the night watchman, Paul, takes a post-mortem photo of the celebrity's face. He is later visited by his friends, Ivan and Javier. The boys intend to go to a party where they are going to get drunk and have a good time. But before the end of Paul's shift, there is still an hour. However, he succumbs to persuasion, and the three go to the garbage cans in the backyard to take alcohol and some of the cheering substances. Ivan makes a toast to the rest of Anna Fried's soul, after which the boys are interested, and where in fact is her body. Paul admits that it's in the morgue at his hospital, which makes his buddies more interested. Didn't he even look at her naked? All three of them are heading down to the morgue. Ivan and Javier feel not very confident, yet the guys do not often find themselves in such places. But Paul calms them down. Until the morning, no one comes here, and if anything, he's got a phone number to call for backup. He brings a friend to one body and, preheating their interest, lifts the sheet. But underneath it is the body of an elderly woman. Paul laughs at his frightened friends and leads them to the actual corpse of Anna Fritz. Guys are fascinated by the beauty of a woman who doesn't look dead at all. Ivan, unburdened, touches her breasts and offers to take an extra dose of the substance, which friends do. Relaxed, the guys start talking about women and encourage a buddy who can see any woman naked. And Paul confesses that he once had an affair with the corpse of a young girl. It warms the friends up so much that Ivan ventures to be intimate with Anna's corpse. Javier considers this a bad joke and expresses doubts about his friend's mental abilities, but gets on a gurney while his friends go to the back. Having done the job, Ivan feels like a real hero, because his partner was Anna Fritz, and Paul decides to repeat his friend's feat. Javier is trying to appeal to their minds again, but what if they did the same thing to their loved one? But Paul goes to the gurney. He strokes the dead woman's hair, kisses her, and begins the process when Anna opens her eyes. A passionate Paul doesn't see it, and a woman's voice defies her. And yet there comes a point where the guy looks into her face, and a wild scream tears the room apart. Friends run to his aid, and after seeing that the woman is really alive, they begin to argue about their actions. Javier immediately tries to help her and runs for water, and Ivan becomes paralyzed, realizing that they have just committed a crime. Javi harbors a cold woman who can't make a sound while his buddies look up and decide what to do. But there is a sound of the door opening. Paul is terrified, because if he is found here, he will instantly lose his job. Ivan, on the other hand, has other thoughts. He orders the guys to hide until they decide what to do next. The trio covers Anna with a sheet and hides behind a gurney when the morgue attendant arrives with another body. The woman tries to speak, but she fails. She pulls the sheet off her face, but alas, it is too late. The orderly is gone. Javier runs back to Anna, promising that everything will be okay and he will help her. But Ivan is not one to reveal his shameful act. Friends go to the next room and hold a council. Javier suggests that the woman did not feel what his friends did to her. But Paul is sure that she not only felt but also remembered his face. Ivan reminds everyone else she is dead. Javi gets angry. Are they going to kill her? There's a fight between the guys. Paul and Ivan don't want to go to jail, and Javier intends to save a waking woman. He goes back to the morgue and grabs a gurney to get her out. The voice slowly returns to Anna, and she can barely hear her cry for help. Javier asks Paul to open the door, and they discover that the room is locked from the outside and the keys remain there. There is a fight between Ivan and Javi. The stronger Ivan knocks his buddy to the floor. Paul pulls his friend off, but it turns out that Javier is seriously injured. Paul tries to bring him to his senses. Ivan apologizes, but the boy is getting worse. He needs to get to the doctor urgently, and Paul grabs his phone. But Ivan stops him, because their actions added to another crime. He offers to take a friend outside and leave him somewhere where he can be found quickly. The two of them drag the guy to the back where they sit, leaning against the wall. Ivan wakes him up while Paul brings the gurney with Anna here, after which they go to clean up the signs of a fight, and Ivan voices the victim's version of events. They had a drink in the park, Javier went home, but he was attacked, had his wallet taken and hit on the head. In no case should a friend tell the truth about Anna, who hears this conversation and realizes that nothing good is waiting for her. Javier notices Anna's look, apologizes and promises to call for help, but loses consciousness. Then Ivan returns to the back room and, going to his friend, tries to convince him to wait a little longer, because Pa has already called for help. And indeed, a corpseman comes down to the morgue, who is very surprised by the situation. But Pa is dissuaded by the fact that he accidentally dozed off in the back room and just did not notice. Anna tries to scream. Ivan closes her mouth. The orderly even hears a squeeze sound, but Pa rushes it, because it's too late. And indeed, a corpseman comes down to the morgue, who is very surprised by the situation. But Pa is dissuaded by the fact that he accidentally dozed off in the back room and just did not notice. Anna tries to scream. Ivan closes her mouth. The orderly even hears the squeeze sound, but Pa rushes it, because it's late and it's time to go home. However, the orderly is eager to see Anna's body, but Pa almost pushes it outside and they leave. Enraged, Ivan swears at Anna because she tried to scream, and the next minute, she turns to her boyfriend and realizes that Javier is dead. Pa, who returns, sits next to him and cries, listening to Ivan's self-soothing speeches, and Ivan, realizing that they are facing life imprisonment, proposes to take his body out and throw it in the trash. Anna asks for her release, promising that she will say nothing to anyone. Pa is ready to give in to her requests, but Ivan is determined he will not go to prison. He recalls that they faced 30 years for the murder of Javier, and then a friend lets it slip, kills a guy at Ivan. He, Pa, has nothing to do with it. But Ivan disagrees, considering him an accomplice, and then everyone will know what Pa was doing at the morgue. While the boys argue, Anna manages to get up and fall off the gurney. She crawls to Javier, takes out his phone and dials the number. Ivan returns and takes the phone, but the call is noted as passed, and Anna says that she managed to contact her father. The boys realize that everything has collapsed, and they have no chance of rescue. They put the woman on a gurney and take her outside. But all of a sudden, there's a call, and Ivan answers it. It turns out that her father did not have time to answer the call and decided to call back an unfamiliar number. Anna tries to scream, but Pa silences her. Ivan says he just got the wrong number, and he hangs up. The guys are taking her back to the morgue, and even though Anna can already scream, no one can hear her. A woman speaks her mind to a scoundrel, which is the final decision. Ivan goes for the dumpster, ordering Pa to tie Anna up, which he does using scotch tape. The woman is trying to remind the guy that he's not the killer, and if he listens to Ivan, he's definitely going to jail. She promises not to talk about his actions if he saves her, but Pa is afraid of a comrade and also does not believe her when Anna reveals that Ivan strangled Javier because he did not want to take him to the hospital. However, Pa ties the woman up and goes to clean up the blood. And Ivan finds an empty container, but here the nurses, who decided to take a break. The guy has to lie down. Meanwhile, Anna manages to unravel her legs and, falling from the gurney, crawls towards the door. The nurses finally finish their cigarettes, and Ivan takes the box and goes to the morgue when Anna crawls out into the corridor. Back at the morgue, Ivan discovers that she is not there, and the guys rush to look for a runaway. The girl sees them and hides in the technical room. Ivan passes her and Anna crawls on. Finally, she gets to the elevator and pushes the button. The doors start closing when Ivan comes in at the last minute. He takes the girl to the morgue. Pa was again trying to whitewash himself because it was a comrade who strangled Javier. At least that's what Anna said. Ivan yells at a gullible friend and asks not to listen to the girl. Now we have to figure out how to kill Anna so that there is no trace, but there is no poison under his hands. Pillow 2. Besides, Pa refuses to kill because it is difficult for him. And then Ivan clumps the sheet and, taking Pa's hand, forces the guy to participate in the murder. Anna can't resist and eventually stops breathing. The guys put her on a gurney and go to Javier's body. They load him into the garbage. Ivan orders Pa to remove all traces and clean up Anna's body, and himself goes to remove Javier's body. Pa washes the woman's body, removing evidence of the crime, while Ivan pulls the box outside and throws his friend's body to the curb. Meanwhile, Pa finishes the toilet, covers Anna's body with sheets, and intends to walk out the door when he hears a cough. He tilts the canvases, but the girl's eyes are closed. And yet, he realizes that she is alive and just pretends to be dead. Anna opens her eyes and silently looks at the killer. But then Ivan walks in, and Pa throws a sheet over the girl's face, intending to hide from her friend that she is alive. Ivan looks around uncertainly because he thinks they have forgotten something. But Pa rushes him. The killer opens Anna's face, but she is motionless, and he finally walks out the door. But after walking a few meters, he suddenly realizes that he left his card at the morgue. The guys come back and see Anna standing at the door. Ivan gets furious. Paul wanted to turn him in. He strangles his friend as Anna plunges a scalpel into his neck. Paul looks at her in horror as they went to just leave, but Anna beats him in the stomach. The guy sits against the wall. The bloody girl sits next to him and cuts his body with a scalpel over and over again, avenging all that horror. It's like one bad dream showing the ugly side of our world, so I want to forget it soon. Well, or watching the retelling. Subscribe to the channel, like and watch only good movies.